I'm running. Hey, Donnie.
Hi.
That's your name, right, Donnie?
Donnie's my name.
Last name?
Darko.
Really? Okay. Just to make sure I'm talking to the right guy, because I've got, a little bit of a referral here. Maybe it'd be a good idea for me to talk with you today. Maybe things weren't, maybe not as happy, or maybe people just aren't getting you right now. So what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm a little tired. I'm forced to be here by, I guess my teachers
Okay.
thought I was struggling a little bit in class and kind of daydreaming and starting to fail, and then my parents forced me to come here.
Okay. Well, do you see anything positive in that? I mean, the idea of forcing, but maybe there's something good that could happen for you?
I don't know. Everyone always forces me to do something or be somewhere. There's, my parents, you got teachers, and there's this, I just want to be left a while, I guess.
It's hard to feel like you're forced to do things. And being over much of a push. Somebody always wanted you to do something.
Yeah.
My goodness. So, what are you drawing?
Well, it's this guy. His name's Frank.
Frank? Let me write down this guy Frank. Frank's not too pleasant looking if I see what you're trying to do there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this rabbit, and he's got really sharp teeth, sharp claws.
Oh yeah?
And he visits me quite a bit, and it's just progressively gotten worse. Frank's from a parallel universe.
Oh.
And so he says that I have to save our primary reality by finding a shiny object.
Oh.
And
Well, can you tell me a little more about Frank, though? He sounds like
well, I started experiencing Frank a little over a year ago, and it was just small, I guess, snippets here and there, and I thought maybe I was just tired, or maybe I was just a little, I don't know, too creative. But in the last 6 months, it's progressively gotten worse, and he shows up, and sometimes he doesn't always talk, but sometimes he'll point. And usually, if he does talk, he'll say something along the lines of, I need to find this shiny object in order to save the world, because supposedly the world's going to end on July 4th, 2013. And so I didn't really give much thought to it, but now it's already June the 6th, so in less than a month, the world's going to end.
Okay.
And
So Frank's telling you all this.
Yeah, Frank's telling me this, and I experienced him throughout the day. It's just becoming more worse. And
So why do you think it's described worse, I guess?
I'm encountering him at least 3 to 6 times a day,
Okay.
maybe more, and it just totally throws me off, and it just tells me I need to find a shiny object, and I have no clue
So
what this shiny object
it
is.
sounds like Frank may be kind of with you most of the day, or most of the time, actually.
He is, although I have a girlfriend, she's the only person I've told. She thinks I'm nuts.
Okay.
I don't have a whole lot of friends. I don't really get along with anyone. I don't really get along with my parents either. But,
You have a girlfriend, though. Tell me about her a little bit.
she's kind of an alternative, creative type, and she likes to paint, and she likes to write, and some of the stuff that I write
Okay.
about Donnie in the journal she reads, and she just thinks that it's great. And I tried to tell her that the world's going to end,
Yeah.
and she just laughs and thinks that I'm just being an artist and
Oh,
overly emotional, or I don't know.
okay. So, I mean, it's very good. The writing sounds like it's good writing, creative.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of my way to, I guess, write about the events that are taking place. So, if the world does end, then someone finds this book, then they'll know about the shiny object.
Okay.
And
Can you tell me about the shiny object at all?
I don't really know much about it. I don't know if it's the size of quarter that I have to find, or if it's big as an airplane, or just what it is. So
Okay.
I get pointed in directions, and so I'll follow the direction.
I'm sorry not to interrupt too much, but you're pointing in directions, so is it your girlfriend that's pointing you in directions, or?
And this is Frank.
Frank.
Yeah. So Frank will show up. So the last incident, I was sitting in class and I started to daydream a little bit because I get really bored in class.
Okay.
Not very challenging. And so then Frank will appear like at the window. I'll look over, and then he'll just start pointing. And then so I notice I start experiencing some anxiety, get kind of irritated. And then
So-
I don't know where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do. But
Okay. Let me kind of see if I can put this together so I know where I'm at with this. So Frank has been showing up for a while. Help me clarify. Frank is show me a picture. Frank is like a.
he's a big, scary rabbit
Okay.
with sharp teeth and sharp claws.
And he communicates with you maybe how many times a day?
It's about 3 to 6, sometimes more.
Okay.
Now it's starting to progress a little bit more as the date nears for the end of the world.
That's right. So you said July 4th. If Frank says July 4th is coming, that's the end. And he says it's your responsibility to find something.
Yeah.
To stop this?
He also said I had to find this object, and then he said I had this power for telekinesis. So I had to telekinetically transport this shiny object from the parallel universe,
Okay.
or tangent universe, into the primary reality. And so I don't even know if I can do that, or how I'm supposed to do it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like quite the task.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be daunting for me to try to understand the different universe setup in the first place, much less how to move something I can't find. So it sounds like this is like almost an overwhelming thing.
It is, because I feel like I'm the only person that understands this or gets it. Everyone else laughs, or they think I'm crazy.
Okay.
And so, I sometimes, I guess just angry or irritated and anxiety, because I don't know where to begin, but
Okay.
and it's coming.
All right. Well, what do you plan? What are you going to do? It sounds like you have something you feel you must do, and it's within a specific time frame. So, what's your plan?
Plan for finding a shiny object,
Or whatever you're going to do before that date.
well, I figured if I can't find the shiny object, which it appears that I'm not going to, and it just seems like a needle in a haystack, then I figured the next best option is just to go ahead and kill myself before that time comes.
Okay. So that is a little worrisome just for me to hear,
Wow.
because I care about you and I don't want anything bad to happen to you. So you think about this very often?
Yeah, I've started thinking about it more often in the last 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
About hurting myself, or just killing myself. So I don't have any answers for how to save the world.
Okay. Okay. So, so what do you think about when you think about doing yourself in before the end of the world? Is it something that you spend a lot of time thinking about? Is it something you've sort of like developed a plan to?
I actually have spent quite a bit of time planning it out. I guess at this point, I think ending my life is better than having to experience Frank throughout the day. And so I have a plan to where I'm going to get some rope from our garden shed, and I'm going to hang myself by the rafters in my room. That's somewhat of a safe place for me. But
is it safer from what in your room?
I guess I just feel most comfortable there. Frank still visits me there. I can, even when I sleep, Frank will show up and he'll still try to communicate. So there are times when I don't really sleep a whole lot, but I guess it's probably the safest place I feel out of anywhere,
okay.
Even though I do experience Frank.
Is there a way to kind of scare him away or whatever when you're in your room? Are there any tools you can kind of push Frank away with there?
No, not. I think before, I just turn on music or play a video game, or I would read some books, and that would kind of, Frank would dissipate. But
So-
now he's overpowering me today.
So in the past, you've been able to maybe distract yourself a little bit, kind of get away from Frank, get away from his message of what's going on, and maybe help you not think so much about things to come.
Yeah, but that doesn't work anymore. Frank's real a smart guy. He figured out, I guess, how to seep in every aspect of my life. So Frank doesn't want me to be happy.
He's devious.
Yeah, he's not nice.
He does not want good for you. So why do you think
Well,
that?
I don't think Frank wants good for anyone.
Really? So if you could get away from Frank, do you think that would be a helpful thing for you?
Yeah, but Frank already told me that there's no way I'm going to be able to get away from him. He says, you can try to escape. I'll always find you. I wish Frank would go away. I wish he would leave me alone. And maybe my relationship with my girlfriend would be even better, and she wouldn't laugh at me when I tell her about Frank.
Yeah.
I think life would be better without him.
So your garden shed. Tell me about the garden shed a little bit. As far as it sounds like it's got all kinds of stuff in it.
Yeah, I live in a fairly big house. My parents really don't get along with at all. They're just very prominent business people in the community, but I don't really talk to them. It feels like they're self-involved. They never really ask how I'm doing, what I'm doing. But so we have a shed. We got all the stuff that one would want. A bunch of garden tools, and you got the lawnmowers and paint, gasoline, and stuff for the lawn, seed and feed, fertilizer, and I got some rope out there, and I guess my dad had it for some project, but I just, I thought about what would be the best way to go, and I thought, I think that shooting myself would be a little too messy.
Do you have access to a weapon to be able to do that?
Yeah, my dad has weapons, but I've never really been into them. But I think rope would be the most clean way to do it. And you just have to cut me down.
Yeah. So sounds like you have an idea of what you probably want to do.
Yeah.
And you, maybe by a certain time, but have you thought of a special time that you want to do this?
Yeah, I figured that I would spend as much time with my girlfriend, and she's the only one that's really keeping me here, from killing myself.
Yeah.
I've already warned her that the world's going to end on the 4th of July.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what time that is, but I gave myself until July the 3rd at 11:11 p.m. and that's when I plan on
Okay.
on carrying out.
So you have a real specific target, time and date.
Yep.
And is she going to be there with you?
No, I'm planning on spending the evening with her, and I'll probably cryptically say goodbye to her, so she won't have to worry.
Okay.
I mean she won't have to worry anyway, because the world's going to end. But maybe in case my killing myself saves the world, then she'll still be around.
Okay. So, you said something interesting there, and it just piques my curiosity. You mentioned the idea that if you killing yourself might save the world. Where, I'll just kind of ask, where does that idea come from? Is it something that Frank's been telling you, or is this something you've been thinking about? Or?
Well, I thought about it. Frank's real adamant about the shiny object bit, and can't find the shiny object. So I figure the other way to get around that is by killing self, and then I won't have to hear Frank's voice anymore. And I figure maybe in some way, if I kill myself, then that will resolve, or it will help to, primary reality to keep stabilized. There'll be no ripples.
Okay. So, through your self-sacrifice, then, you think that if you might kind of stall things out, even things out, or balance them, how is that going to affect? You think it might affect your girlfriend or your parents?
I think it would affect my girlfriend quite a bit. She's the only one who really cares about me, and she's probably the only one I really care about.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know my parents. I don't know. It's kind of a non-relationship. You'd have to ask them, but they probably wouldn't really care that much.
So are they going to be there at 11:11?
They'll probably be out some social function, and then maybe if they get worried about me, they'll come looking for me, and who knows, maybe I'll stay there for a day or two, or before someone finally discovers me. Probably my girlfriend that gets worried, and we'll drop by, and then my parents, they'll be like, well, he hasn't left the house, so he's obviously here, and then they'll stumble upon me hanging in the rafters.
It doesn't sound like they check on you an awful lot.
No.
All right. So it sounds like you've pretty much got your preparations made for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You already gone out to the shed and done all that.
I've actually haven't taken the rope to my room yet.
Oh.
But I do know how I'll carry it out, obviously. I'll tie, I was in the Boy Scouts, so I'll tie, a special knot up to the rafters, and then I'll put the noose around my neck, and then I'll, kick the chair out from underneath myself, and I'll go from there. But I haven't moved the rope yet.
Okay.
I kind of want to, take Frank by surprise too.
So Frank watches, he'd know.
He might know. He's pretty crafty about that stuff, but I'll try to outsmart him.
I think you probably will. You seem like a bright person. And I think Frank's, like you said, he's kind of awful. He's kind of devious.
Yeah.
You trust Frank?
Well, I don't know. If the world's going to end and he's putting me in charge of saving it, I guess I believe it to it in some degree. Sure.
Yeah. It sounds like Frank makes you pretty anxious, pretty upset.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does make me feel anxious and upset about life.
Okay. So, let me ask this. Frank's been talking to you for a while. Has he ever asked you in the past to make any attempts on your life or to hurt yourself? Does Frank tell you that kind of stuff?
No, Frank has said that if I don't carry out finding this shiny object, people are going to get hurt. And I don't know if he's actually meant prior to the world ending on the 4th of July, whether he's going to hurt my girlfriend or hurt other innocent people. And so I figured that I just better start looking for that shiny object to avoid any potential danger to other people.
Okay. So, you've never really tried to hurt yourself before then? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, initially I tried when Frank first started appearing to me. He told me about the shiny object, and I had to find, and so I just thought, okay, I'm tired, and he kept appearing more and more, and so that's where I initially thought of the plan of, all right, I can't take this. I think I'm going to just kill myself.
Okay. Did you have a plan then?
I think it was a little more impulsive. I just thought, I'm going to kill myself. And then, during that time and experience, I thought, well, I went through all the different types of ways I could kill myself. A gun, or taking pills, or shooting myself, setting myself on fire, jumping off a building. And I just figured, I think hanging would be the best. And then,
how were you feeling at that time though? Was it like inside? Was it this all make you feel like not thinking about said stuff, but just what was pushing you to say finding a way? How did you feel inside? What was happening?
you talking about with Frank when he first heard me, or?
Yeah.
I guess I was feeling somewhat, lonely by myself.
And then when Frank came?
And then Frank came, and then I guess I thought it was kind of funny at first. And we started talking a little bit, and then he just started making me feel really anxious. I think initially I indulged Frank in the beginning because he didn't come out right and say, "You got to go find this silver object." I don't really interact with anyone else, and so I guess it kind of it was nice to have someone there to talk to, I guess at times. But then when I found my girlfriend and everything, and maybe Frank started becoming more irritated that I had a girlfriend.
Is that when he started getting a little more demanding?
Yeah, I would say so. But I can't really recall when he started telling me I had to find that silver object.
That's interesting.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe Frank doesn't like me having relationships.
So, if you think about all this, Frank may be the bigger problem. Or not. Or is it?
Yeah, I definitely think Frank is a problem. I don't know how to get rid of Frank.
Okay.
I really want him to go away, but I'm afraid it's just too late for that.
What if I were to tell you that I know some people that would help you to escape Frank?
Well, how are they going to help me if they don't even know where Frank's at? Only I know where Frank's at.
If you were willing to take a walk with me down the street a little ways, there's a safe place that Frank probably can't get in. And there'd be some people there that would like to help you hide.
Well, I guess, if that could help me save the world or whatever, sure. I'd love to, get rid of Frank, and maybe that would help resolve the peril of the universe.
Well, I would really like for you to be safe, because I think if you're safe, then the rest of us are safe. So if you would go with me, I would walk with you, and we can go down to the street, and there's some great people down there that would take you in, probably ask you some of the same questions. I could probably hang around with you for a little while,
Mhm.
so you could feel okay, just in case Frank came. And they may help you out, you know, they may ask you to take some medications, and those would help keep Frank away. Or they may ask you to stay there for a while in a safe spot. Would you be okay with that?
I don't know. Maybe. I guess if Frank's not there, yeah, I might do that. But what would I do if Frank shows up there?
Well, there'll be people to help you, I think. I mean, at least that. Does he come around when you're talking to other people?
No, not really. Usually waste time alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish he'd show up right now. We give him a report. I give him a piece of my mind.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be good though.
Really?
Frank might hurt you, and I don't want that.
Well, I think these folks over here know how to take care of themselves. Maybe they can even help Frank.
Yeah, I don't know about Frank. I think he's beyond help. He's, yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Donnie, I kind of like listen to all what you've been seeing and hearing, and I think maybe we should go visit those folks. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'll see. I'll check it out. Sure.
Okay.
Got nothing to lose.
All right.
Maybe I'll find my shiny object over there.
You might.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's go together.
All right.